The following is interviews gathered at Penn State's 2025 Media Day. First up is quarterback Drew Allar, then offensive coordinator Andy Kotelicki, running back Nick Singleton, and defensive coordinator Jim Knowles. Enjoy. Teams in the preseason top 10, I hate to bring up preseason rankings, but Penn State is the only one that has had their quarterback and top two running backs not transfer and play a full 4 years coming up this year. How much will that advantage play during the season?
I think we just have camaraderie, chemistry together, and just experience together. I think that's the biggest thing at the end of the day. You can't really replace or replicate experience just because there's only so many times you can be in those moments. And I think between the coaching staff that we had, the players on offense, defense, special teams, like we have a lot of experience. So I think when you get in those moments that you've already experienced, you know how to handle them well and bad, and just move on for them and be able to embrace those opportunities and moments and just make the most of those.
With the three new wide receiver transfer additions, is it safe to say this has been the most important offseason of your career so far at Penn State, given having to get everybody acclimated for the season?
I think that's fair. I think every offseason's been the most important offseason. I never look in the past or in the future. I always try to stay present where my feet are. So I've always treated it as the most important offseason of my life, because it is, and every offseason that I've had before this has also been the most important offseason that I've had. But yeah, I think just getting acclimated with them, building our relationship and chemistry, and just getting to sit down and get to know them on a personal level away from the field, and also just their tendencies on the field, how they see the game, and just me communicating how I see the game, why I threw the ball the way I did, and asking them why they ran the route a certain way. I think those conversations almost are more valuable at times than just running routes on air, just because you're able to sit down and just really dissect everything, be critical and that sort of thing, and just talk about football, because sometimes when you're out on the practice field and you're just going so fast, you don't have time to just sit back and just talk about it. But when you're able to watch film together, you kind of have these conversations, you just pick their brain apart and just talk football at that point.
There's not many positions more affected by crowd noise than quarterback, and you guys start out with a bunch of games at home. Week 6 you go on the road, but it's not until week 8 until you have a stadium with a capacity over 50,000. Would you rather have all those home games strung together, or would you prefer something like last year where you had a tough road environment right at the gate?
I think for me, I just play whatever it's on the schedule, whether it's 5 home games straight, 5 away games straight. I'm just thankful to be able to play football for Penn State, put on the blue and white, and wherever they tell us to play, we'll be out there and we'll play.
Appreciate it. Yep. Coach, James Franklin in his press conference about an hour ago spoke about the versatility of the team, that last year was just kind of stop the two main running backs, stop Tyler Warren, and you were able to kind of solve the puzzle. What does the versatility do this year, and do you agree with that statement that you can attack defenses in multiple ways, in more ways than you could last year?
Yeah, obviously I agree with that, what he's saying. To me, it starts with that guy there to be able to distribute the ball in that way. The fact that we could put spots all over the field that he's going to be able to get the ball there, and that we can train that way. I think our personnel, to his point, is more diverse, it's more balanced, right? Going into the season, I feel really good about the additions at receiver. I feel really good about the young guys at receiver. I feel awesome about the tight ends. I feel awesome about the running backs. Everyone's going to talk about Nick and Katron, but the young running backs are developing awesome. Coach Drake's doing a great job with those guys. And then we haven't even talked about the O-line yet. You know what I mean? So we have a lot of guys that have experience. We have a lot of guys that can do a lot of things, and so it's kind of about let's make sure that we're doing the right things with them, and let's go out there and have some fun. You know what I mean? Let's get a little crazy with them.
Offenses and offensive coordinators are probably the most affected by crowd noise and having to navigate that. You guys don't play on the road until week 6 and don't see a stadium with an average capacity over 50,000 until week 8. Would you prefer that, or would you rather have a tough road environment early like you did last year with West Virginia?
I don't know that it matters. You know what I mean? Here's the truth. In football, there's going to be adversity all the time. And you're specifically talking about crowd noise. That's stuff that we're already training now. You know what I mean? That we do, because we're aware that, yeah, you're right, it is a component in major college football, like in the NFL. So we've got to train that stuff all the time to make sure that, it's not like all of a sudden when we go out there in week whatever, when we're on the road for the first time, that we're going to have to deal with crowd noise. You know what I mean? During that, we're doing it now in fall camp. We did it in the spring. So we're preparing, we're training our guys for all these stresses, these moments, so that we'll be fine with it. I don't have a preference one way or the other. You know what I mean? Let's put the ball down the play. You know what I mean? Sure, I love being at home. You know what I mean? This stadium, like it's awesome. It's elite. But you can play road games. You know what I mean? And I don't even know what all the road games are, quite honestly, with you. But I'm just worried about this practice this afternoon. You know what I'm saying, man? Like I'm fired up for what we're going to do this afternoon. Let alone thinking about, what did you say? What week is it?
Week 6 is your first road game. Average attendance over 50,000 till week 8. So,
okay, you know that. I have no clue. Yeah.
Offenses continuously evolve. How has your philosophy individually changed from when you started coaching until now?
Well, I would tell you the first thing I think about, and probably the biggest thing that I think now is, when I first started coaching, I didn't spend as much time talking about why we do things. I feel like my main responsibility as the offensive coordinator is to make sure our offensive players know what we're doing and why we do it. And the position coaches do a great job of making sure they know how. And we have a great dynamic, and the position coaches will double down on the why we do things. But I have to make sure they know why we have these plays and why we do this procedure, why we're doing this personnel grouping, whatever it might be, why we're doing this drill and practice. Why, you know what I mean? Because those things they're mundane. They can be boring and they can be tight, but you got to do them because that's what football requires. So I think my philosophy has changed, and that I put a premium, and it's the first thing I think about is why. Why are we doing this?
Appreciate it. I remember asking a question last year about kind of the inexperience of the offensive line, and you fast forward to this year and you're returning 4 starters. How much confidence are you and Katron going to have playing behind an experienced line?
Yeah, the line's been phenomenal this whole offseason. You know, they've been really good, you know, working their butts off, you know, taking that big leadership, setting an example for the young guys in the line. So they've been really good. Even last year, too, they were really good, too. So it's been really good.
It's rare in college football to see you and Katron, 2 top running backs, and knowing he could transfer and be a starter at really any Power 4 program. What does that individually say about him and the program, and how have you guys been able to build off of each other and make yourselves better?
Yeah, I feel like we're just not selfish, you know. We're there for each other, you know. That's my brother for life, you know. We want to come back, you know, make history, win national championship, leave our legacy here. So that was kind of a big move for them.
Appreciate it.
Student athletes, please return your jerseys and pants to Penn and Cruz with the equipment room. Thank you.
It really doesn't make a difference what I like or don't like. It's like, what's best to be successful.
Whatever the boss says, right?
Once again, student athletes, please return your jersey and pants to Penn and Cruz in the equipment room.
Those are judgments I have to make on what is best for the defense. You know? So,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Among some of the top teams in the Big Ten this year, Ohio State, Michigan, and Oregon, there's just a combined 5 started games between those 3 quarterbacks. How much do you read into inexperience when you're scouting an opposing offense?
you know, when you scout them, you have video on them, right? So I don't think
Your attention, please.
the
This concludes
inexperience
Penn State
is
football
only
local
like
media
before
day.
the season.
Members
You know,
of the
when you
media,
get to the
please
season,
join us at the Mountain Inn
you
Club,
have the
Coca-Cola Ice Arena
video
for today's
you
media
kind of
luncheon.
watch for that, you know, to be able to see what they've been doing well.
Once again,